Hello, sorors. My name is Cynthia Groomes, Katz, and I am the supervising attorney of the HIAS office in New York. Thank you for this invitation in honor of World Refugee Day. Welcome to HIAS via Zoom. As this event falls on our Sabbath, I am not available to join you live, but please feel free to contact me with any questions and/or comments. Sora Sabrina Richardson has my contact information. I'd like to talk to you about HIAS's mission, what we do, and programs we provide. We stand for a world in which refugees find welcome, safety, and opportunity. Drawing on our Jewish values and history, HIAS provides vital services to refugees and asylum seekers around the world and advocates for their fundamental rights so they can rebuild their lives. Over 100 years ago, the Jewish community founded HIAS, originally the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society in New York City, the immigrant gateway to America. Supporting Jews fleeing persecution and poverty in Eastern Europe, our founders were guided by the traditions, texts, and history of the Jewish people, a history of oppression, displacement, and diaspora. HIAS has since helped generations of Jews fleeing violence because of who they were. And HIAS remains committed to helping Jewish refugees anywhere in the world. Today, our clients at HIAS come from diverse faiths, ethnicities, and backgrounds, as do our staff. We bring our experience, history, and values to our work across 5 continents, ensuring that refugees today receive the vital services and opportunities they need to thrive. HIAS is a learning community committed to diversity and inclusion. We do our work with integrity, accountability, transparency, and a commitment to the highest ethical standards. We welcome the stranger. You shall welcome the stranger, for you were strangers, Deuteronomy 10:19. We are told 36 times in the Torah to love those who are strangers. For HIAS, welcome begins at our door and extends through our work with refugees, partners, and allies around the globe. I'd like to share my perspective, which is anchored by a desire to pursue justice and to repair the world. I bring 20 plus years of experience in immigration law, ranging from private sector law firm practice to government service to the nonprofit sector practice of law. I've lived in North Carolina, the Washington, D.C., and New York City areas. I am happy to say that I have seen a lot, good and bad, and I still find the practice of immigration law rewarding. Asylum law is one of the most challenging and intellectually stimulating areas within immigration law. Asylum law is taxing and requires many resources. In my opinion, it is best practiced with the government, the US federal government here in the United States, or in a nonprofit organization dedicated to a holistic delivery of multiple services. I decided to join HIAS because HIAS's mission is my mission. Its fight is my fight. I don't need to tell you that we live in a dangerous world. Many people do not like our work at HIAS. As you may recall, a gunman shot worshipers at a synagogue, or synagogues, rather, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because the congregations partnered with HIAS to resettle refugees in the Pittsburgh area. We have tight security and protection at all of our offices. Working at HIAS presents me with the opportunity every day to welcome the stranger, protect the refugee. I am given the opportunity to speak on behalf of the voiceless. What we do is we help resettle refugees through our office in New York. That includes welcoming people upon arrival, helping them become acclimated to life in the US. Our pre-arrival division has set up housing for those individuals. When they arrive, we help them find places like a grocery store, Where do people speak the language that they are accustomed to speaking? How can they find a job? How do they get their social security card? Many things that we may take for granted here in the United States. And that's what we do to empower people to become and realize themselves here in the United States. After 1 year of living in the United States, people who entered as refugees are then required to apply for green cards, lawful permanent residency. And that's where our legal department in New York, as well as our headquarters in Silver Spring, offers additional legal protection. In particular, in the New York office, we work with the Refugee Resettlement Program in helping those clients apply for their green cards. We also have a strong pro bono department that helps elicit the support from pro bono attorneys to represent applicants for the green card. And then we work together to help people as our reach our goal of representation from arrival to citizenship. And we help people apply for citizenship. At HIAS, from the asylum standpoint, we represent people who would otherwise not be able to afford our services, just like there's no fee for services provided to resettlement clients, refugee clients. We do not charge a fee for asylum applicants as well. What that means is that we offer a space where we help applicants who are already here in the United States seeking protection. And that is the distinction between the asylum program versus the refugee program. Asylum seekers are already here in the United States, and they're asking the United States government to allow them to stay because they flee persecution in their country. In our program, we specialize in representing people who have a fear of returning to their country. And that fear is based on what the United States government, as well as an international law, has recognized as reasons for wanting to stay in the United States based on fear of 5 grounds. The most popular of the 5 grounds is probably fear of persecution based on religion or fear of persecution based on race. And we prepare those applications. We function as the attorneys of record, meaning that we help people complete the application, tell their story, obtain the narrative. Why did you leave your country? Why do you fear returning to your country? We also accompany people either to the asylum office, if it's what's called an affirmative application, or to immigration court, if it is called a defensive application. And that's all within the asylum program. When an asylum application is granted, then we are able to help the person, should the person want our services in the future, just like with the refugee program, in applying for lawful permanent residency. The difference is that asylum seekers are not mandated to apply for lawful permanent residency, but we highly recommend it to further that person along the path of being able to stay in the United States permanently and the path towards US citizenship. So what we seek to do is empower people to, as is very popular, we said nowadays, to live one's own authentic self. Our clients come from a variety of countries. We have a lot of people from former Soviet Union countries. There's a lot of Russian spoken in particular in the office in New York. We also have a lot of people from Spanish-speaking countries, Central America, South America. I'm sure you've probably heard in the news the crisis at the border. We have been actively involved in providing relief in forms of legal applications to remain in the United States with people who were formerly in what was called the MPP, Migrant Protection Protocols, program set up by the Trump administration. In addition, we represent people seeking other forms of humanitarian relief. For example, people who've been victims of crimes, human trafficking, as well as potential victims of domestic violence based on marriage to a US citizen, or and coupled with that fear of returning to one's home country. The services we provide are also complemented by what we call our holistic approach in wraparound services or case management. And that is, for example, where an attorney identifies mental health issues. Most of our clients have been victims of trauma and some sort of survivors, actually, of trauma, some type of mistreatment, to put it lightly. And a lot of them are in need of and definitely, absolutely benefit from um, psychological services, mental health services. Some of our clients are immediately referred to a forensic psychologist for an exam associated with the asylum process. And during the course of that, there's also many times a need identified for ongoing therapeutic services. We also try to help people find dental services, for example. So that's why we say it's holistic and robust. We provide employment services, employment workshops. We refer people to English as a second language lessons. We also have a robust core of volunteers that help clients practice English skills. Most of that, of course, as you can imagine, is done remotely during COVID, virtually all remotely, and build lasting relationships with people. And it's so rewarding and gratifying for us to meet someone, and then a year later, that person's English skills have improved, that person's confidence has improved, the person's able to bring family members to the United States to live in peace here in the US. And though the structure and the programs in the United States are not perfect, and the United States certainly is not perfect, it is that beacon of hope and that ray of light. And we're just so proud to be part of that journey. And like I said in the beginning of this, thank you for the honor of talking to you all today. Please feel free to reach out to us. As you see, my screen virtual background has our letters HIAS. Our website is hias.org. My name is Cynthia. My middle name is Groomes, Groomes. My last name is Katz, Katz. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions. I look forward to hearing from you all. And again, thank you for this opportunity, Soros. I appreciate your efforts and interest in the work we do. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.